So, today, in terms of what we've looked at, the first thing we hopefully got a little bit of a look at was the idea that there's lots of different perspectives on globalisation. Some people think that it's really good, some people think that it's a bit of a problem, and we will explore that more in our future lessons as well. And people have different opinions, different organisations, different individuals, depending on how they've been affected it. We then thought really today about the 3 or 4 main organisations. So we thought about the IMF, who basically tried to stabilise the economy, and they tried to make things stable. And in a way, they work quite well, except some people feel that because of the impact they have and their favour towards the richer countries, it actually makes the poorer countries suffer, and that they don't do so well out of it. And there was a cartoon at the beginning that showed that in the olden days we had colonialism and we went and conquered other countries, and now we don't do that, but actually the IMF controls the economy and globally, and it puts it more in the favour of the rich countries and makes it hard for the poorer countries. So that's their kind of impact. And really, they would argue, though, that they promote globalisation. We looked at the World Bank, and the World Bank was a good example of someone that's really trying to promote globalisation because they bring everybody together. Globalisation is about making the world smaller, and the World Bank does that by lending money and borrowing money and donating money to different places. So they'd say they're helping the world to be more globalised by lending money to different places and bringing them together and allowing us to trade over a larger area. Some people argue the World Bank isn't as nice as it could be because it sometimes puts on restrictions on the countries, and they'll say, yeah, we'll cancel your debt, but you've got to do this, you've got to do that. And some of the countries feel that it actually chains them up and puts them in a worse situation. They borrow the money, and then they've got all these conditions they have to follow and things they can and can't do. The people in Greece were really unhappy because they were lent the money to get them out of the problems, but they were told you've got to do this, this and this, and it's caused loads of unemployment because the government was told you've got to cut public spending. So it can have some negative things. The World Trade Organization, that tries to help people to trade and be fair, and it tries to break down trade barriers. So that helps to globalise because we can trade with countries all over the world, and that's really good. But by breaking down the trade barriers, it means that sometimes a country can find that nobody buys products it makes in their own country because you can get them cheaper somewhere else. So people have stopped buying products that are made in the UK because they're more expensive than products that are made in Bangladesh. So some people would argue that that's a bad thing for the UK people. Also, again, it's run and organised by the richer countries. So everything it does is kind of manipulated by the fact the richer countries want to stay rich and want to control the poorer countries. And then finally we looked at TNCs. Now these definitely help globalisation because they spread things around the world, whether it be labour forces or products or information, communication. So they help to develop globalisation by bringing all the countries together under one kind of product. There's some good things about that. It's really good for the poorer countries because instead of being farmers now, they can work in factories and earn a regular wage and start to develop. And they can have access to new technology. That's fantastic. The argument against that is that, well, they're getting exploited. But you could say better to earn £1 a day and work 15 hours than earn 50p a day and as a farmer. So there's those things. We like it in this country because we get all the profits from the TNCs and we get to get our goods much cheaper. We all want to be able to buy our clothes from Asda for dirt cheap prices because then we can spend more money on fun things. We don't mind too much that the people in Bangladesh are working for 50p a day. So lots of things to think about today, but we should hopefully know main players, the TNCs, who are spreading things around the world, the World Trade Organization, which is trying to make global links through trade, and the World Bank and the IMF, which are trying to make the money work on a global scale. Thank you.